Welcome to our deep dive into CES 2025. I feel like this year is going to be huge. It's not just about, those cool gadgets that we see every year. It's about technology shaping the future, our future.
You're right. It really does feel different this year. There are just so many things happening at once. It makes CES 2025 a really pivotal event.
So for our deep dive today, we're going to be looking at an in-depth analysis of CES 2025 by AZTEQ and Emmanuel Moyrand. Now, Moyrand is a leader in ethical technology, so we're going to be looking at everything through that lens. Get ready for AI that can design cars in just hours, XR that could replace our screens, and green tech fighting climate change.
And that's just the beginning. Buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride.
Okay, let's get into it. CES itself has a long history of showcasing some pretty groundbreaking technologies. I mean, since 1967, it's been the place to be for everything from VCRs to HD TVs and even those consumer drones that are everywhere these days. But 2025 feels different.
Right. I think part of it is, well, the pandemic.
Yeah.
It really sped up just how much we use tech in our lives, like AI and those remote work solutions.
Yeah, definitely.
And now we've got emerging global regulations on AI and people caring more about ethical development.
Right, ethical development.
And of course, we can't forget about the elephant in the room, climate change. That push for climate action is making sustainable tech solutions a top priority.
It really does feel like all these forces are kind of converging at CES 2025. You've got this incredible mix of innovation, but also responsibility and a real sense of urgency.
Yes, you hit the nail on the head. And that's where someone like Emmanuel Moyrand and his company AZTEQ come in.
Okay, let's talk Moyrand. He's been a big name at CES for quite a few years now, hasn't he?
He has. He actually won an award back in 2018 for a blockchain solution he developed for the insurance industry.
Oh, wow.
And he's also a leading voice in generative and emotional AI. He's always pushing the boundaries, but never at the expense of ethics. He's a powerful advocate for keeping things ethical.
It sounds like he understands the potential of technology, but also recognizes those potential pitfalls that come with it. A lot of people don't see that side of the coin.
Exactly right. And that philosophy, that balance, is really at the core of AZTEQ, his company.
So AZTEQ focuses on?
So they specialize in AI, blockchain, and immersive XR solutions. But what sets them apart is their real focus on transparency, responsibility, and human-centric design. It's not just about the tech, it's about the people.
Do you have any examples of, how they've actually put that into practice, like real-world stuff?
Oh, absolutely. Just last year, they partnered with a healthcare company to help them integrate generative AI into their customer service. That resulted in a 40% reduction in response time.
Wow, that's impressive.
And more importantly, it led to a significant boost in patient satisfaction.
So they're proving that an ethical approach can actually have a real-world impact.
Right.
It's not just some theoretical ideal, it actually makes things better for people.
I love that. Okay, so we've talked about CES's legacy and this really unique approach that AZTEQ has. Now let's get into the tech. What are the trends we can expect to see dominating CES 2025? Let's start with generative AI. Everyone's talking about it. Well, it's definitely moved beyond the hype. Generative AI is becoming a core tool across so many industries. It's not just a fad anymore.
So we're talking about more than just like creating cool images or music. It's gone beyond that.
Oh, way beyond that. Now we're talking about things like, well, car manufacturers using it to design prototypes in a matter of hours.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, I mean, that used to take months. It's a total game changer.
Wow. What other applications are we seeing?
We're also seeing urban planners use it. They're using generative AI to generate those super realistic 3D models of entire cities to optimize their design and make them more sustainable.
So generative AI is shaping how we design everything from cars to cities now? That's pretty amazing.
It goes even further. It can even personalize your interactions with companies by analyzing the emotions detected in your voice or text. You could have customer service bots that change how they talk to you based on how you're feeling.
Wow. That's incredible, but kind of scary too. What about the potential downsides? Like, what about bias in these algorithms? If they're making decisions based on emotions, how can we ensure they're being fair?
You're right to be concerned. That's where Moyrand's focus on transparency and auditing really comes into play. We need to understand how these algorithms work and make sure they're not perpetuating those harmful biases that already exist.
So basically, shine a light on the inner workings. Transparency is key, especially when these technologies are becoming more and more integrated into every aspect of our lives. Okay, so we've got AI designing our world and responding to our emotions. What's next on our CES 2025 preview?
Next, let's step into the world of extended reality, or XR. That's where augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality all come together. They're really blurring the lines between the real and the virtual. And CES 2025 is going to be the place to see all the latest advancements.
XR is definitely an area I'm super interested in, especially how it can change how we work, learn, and connect with each other. The potential is massive.
It is massive, you're right. At CES, you should watch out for things like those lightweight, super ergonomic XR glasses that could actually replace our need for all those separate screens we have now.
Oh man, that would be revolutionary. Imagine work, entertainment, communication, all seamlessly integrated into a single pair of glasses. What else are we going to see in XR? What advancements are you most excited about?
Think about how we work remotely. I mean, imagine going to a virtual meeting, but it actually feels like you're in the room with your colleagues, no matter where you are in the world.
That would certainly make those endless video calls a lot more engaging. What about the potential for education and training?
Oh, XR could completely revolutionize how we learn and acquire new skills. Imagine surgeons practicing complex procedures in a completely realistic virtual environment. Or firefighters training for dangerous situations without any of the real-world risk.
The possibilities are mind-blowing. It seems like there are so many positive applications. Does Moyrand have any concerns about XR? Are there any potential downsides we should be thinking about?
He's definitely excited about the potential, but he's also cautious. He believes XR should enhance those real-world interactions, not replace them. He really sees it as a powerful tool for connecting people, bridging those geographical distances. But he's cautious about applications that might detach us from that tangible reality.
It's about finding that balance, right? Between the virtual and the real, not letting one completely overtake the other.
Exactly. And speaking of balance, that leads us perfectly into another major theme I think we'll be seeing a lot of at CES 2025.
Green tech.
Yes, green tech, it's about time. Given the state of the world, this feels more important than ever. It's got to be a top priority. It is, absolutely. The climate crisis needs action, and the tech industry has a massive role to play. We're expecting to see a wave of innovations at CES that are all about tackling this challenge head-on.
So what kind of green tech innovations are we talking about?
Well, first off, get ready for revolutionary battery technology. Things like solid-state batteries that are safer and cheaper, but also have a 30% better performance boost than what we're using now.
Wow, okay, that's something I can get behind. Better batteries would be a game changer for so many things.
And that's just the start. We're also talking about smart energy grids that use the power of the Internet of Things to optimize energy consumption in our cities.
Right. Smart cities, making things much more efficient.
And then there's AI. AI-powered solutions are being developed to tackle the problem of electronic waste. Imagine AI systems sorting and recycling electronic components, cutting down on all that waste that ends up in landfills.
That's brilliant. So we're using technology to clean up the mess technology created in the first place. And I love that AZTEQ is practicing what they preach. They're using those energy-efficient algorithms in their tools and eco-friendly cloud hosting.
They're walking the walk, not just talking the talk. They're putting their money where their mouth is.
Okay, so AI, XR, and green tech. What other exciting areas of tech should we be watching out for at CES 2025?
Well, we can't forget about connected health and digital medicine. Technology is transforming the healthcare industry, and CES is always at the forefront of showcasing the latest advancements. This year will be no different.
Oh, I love this stuff. What kind of breakthroughs can we expect to see? What should we be on the lookout for?
Okay, imagine this wearable sensors that can detect those early signs of serious health conditions, things like heart attacks or neurodegenerative diseases, long before any symptoms even show up. Early detection is key to better outcomes.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. So it's like having a personal health guardian right there on your wrist. What else is coming up in the healthcare space?
Think about immersive teleconsultations, where doctors are using augmented reality to interact with patients remotely, almost like they're actually right there in the room.
So it's like a super advanced virtual house call.
Exactly. And AI is playing a huge role here too. They're using AI to speed up medical research, running simulations to test new treatments and therapies virtually before going into those lengthy clinical trials.
So basically, we've got AI helping us discover new cures, we've got XR connecting doctors and patients over long distances, and we have wearable sensors keeping tabs on our health around the clock. It really does feel like we're entering a whole new era of healthcare.
Oh, absolutely. And it's happening at an unprecedented speed. It's moving so fast.
But all of these incredible advancements come with their own set of challenges and opportunities. I mean, for businesses especially. What does Moyrand see as the biggest opportunities and challenges that companies face in this, crazy tech landscape?
Well, he always emphasizes those three major strategic opportunities. First is, tech convergence. It's not just about one technology in isolation. It's about how AI, XR, blockchain, and the Internet of Things can all work together.
It's like that idea that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, right?
Exactly. And the second opportunity he talks about is, well, building new types of customer relationships. Companies need to use technology to deliver those ultra-personalized services, but in a way that respects privacy and handles data ethically.
That's tricky. It's a delicate balance. Providing personalization without being creepy and violating people's privacy.
Absolutely. It's a tightrope walk for sure. And finally, he believes that companies that put ethical leadership at the forefront of their strategy, those are the companies that are really going to thrive in this new landscape.
It's like that saying, doing well by doing good, right? But what about the other side of the coin, the challenges? What are some of the major obstacles companies are going to have to overcome?
Adapting to all those new AI regulations is a huge challenge. Governments are trying to figure out how to regulate AI, deal with all the ethical implications. So companies need to be ready for that constantly changing landscape.
It's a minefield, especially for those global companies.
And of course, ensuring widespread adoption is another major hurdle. I mean, these technologies need to be user-friendly. If people can't use them easily, then they're not going to catch on. So companies need to make sure these innovations are not just impressive from a tech standpoint, but also easy to use and understand.
It's not enough to just create something cool. You have to make sure people can actually use it in their daily lives. So I'm sensing a theme here. CES 2025 is going to be a showcase of those incredible innovations, but is also going to be a stage for these really important conversations about how to overcome those challenges. How do we make sure this technology actually benefits humanity, not just a select few?
Exactly. It's about striking a balance between pushing those technological boundaries and considering the ethical implications. How do we integrate all this into the real world in a way that works?
That's fascinating stuff, but I'm dying to know what specific products and conferences are you most excited about? Give me those highlights. What are the things we should be watching out for?
Okay, well, in terms of products, be prepared for some major announcements, particularly in those areas we've been talking about: AI, autonomous vehicles, and XRs. For instance, NVIDIA, the chip maker.
Oh yeah, NVIDIA, I know them.
Well, they're expected to unveil their brand new AI processors, and those could revolutionize what we can do with AI.
I'm not surprised. NVIDIA is always pushing the boundaries of AI hardware. What about Tesla? Any news on that front?
Well, Tesla is always a crowd pleaser, and rumor has it that we might see some updates on their self-driving technology. Oh, and maybe even a sneak peek at those next-generation batteries that everyone is talking about.
Next-gen batteries. Sign me up. Tesla is known for pushing the limits, and their CEO, Elon Musk, isn't afraid to, make a splash. What about in the XR space? Any cool startups or products that are on your radar?
The XR world is just exploding right now with innovation. You'll definitely want to check out some of the startups. They're the ones coming up with those mind-blowing immersive tools that are going to change how we work, play, and interact with each other.
I'm always blown away by what those startups are able to accomplish. What about conferences? Are there any specific panels or talks that we should absolutely put on our calendars?
Absolutely. The panel discussion on the ethics of AI is definitely a must-see. Emmanuel Moyrand will be there, sharing his perspective on how to develop AI responsibly.
Oh, wow. I'm not missing that one. What else is on your list?
And there's a really great conference on green technologies and climate resilience. A bunch of experts from all different fields will be discussing how technology can help us, mitigate those climate change effects and build a more sustainable future.
That one's definitely going on my list, too. Given the urgency of the climate crisis, that sounds like a crucial conversation. It's so encouraging to see CES making space for these important environmental discussions. So, all in all, CES 2025 is shaping up to be something truly special. It's not just about those flashy gadgets anymore. It's about taking a hard look at the future we're building, future where tech meets responsibility. But we've only scratched the surface. There's so much more to uncover.
You said it. We've only just begun to explore this exciting new world.
Stay tuned for part 2 of our CES 2025 deep dive. We'll be taking an even closer look at some of those products and conferences that are generating all the buzz, so stay tuned. Welcome back to our deep dive into CES 2025. We covered a lot of ground in part one. I mean, we talked about everything from the crazy potential of generative AI to the immersive world of XR and the urgent need for those green tech solutions.
And we can't forget about Emmanuel Moyrand and AZTEQ, their whole focus on ethical technology.
Right. Technology that serves humanity and the planet, which is more important than ever. But now let's zoom in a little bit. Let's talk about some of the specific products and conferences that are creating all the buzz. What's got everyone talking as we get closer to CES 2025?
Okay, well, let's start with those must-have gadgets and innovations that have tech enthusiasts practically drooling.
Sounds good to me. What products are going to steal the show this year? What are the big ones?
In the world of AI, NVIDIA's one to watch. Those guys who make those super powerful graphics processing units, those GPUs, they've become essential for AI development.
GPUs. Okay, so those are the chips that can handle massive amounts of data, right? I remember when they were mostly used for gaming. But now they're powering everything from those self-driving cars to medical diagnoses.
Exactly. And NVIDIA is always at the forefront, pushing the limits of what those chips can do. They've been teasing some seriously groundbreaking new processors, specifically designed for AI. And everyone is just waiting to see what they can do.
So, how much faster are we talking here? Will these new chips make AI even faster and more efficient? What kind of performance boost are we looking at?
Well, from what I've heard, these new processors will be significantly faster, and they'll be more power efficient too, which means you could potentially run even more complex AI models on smaller devices, even your smartphone.
Wow, okay. That would be huge. Imagine having AI-powered smartphones that can do things that, only supercomputers could do before. The possibilities are endless.
Speaking of pushing the boundaries, we got to talk about Tesla. They're always a huge draw at CES. And this year, the rumors are flying. Advancements in autonomous driving. Maybe even a sneak peek at those next-generation batteries everyone's been waiting for.
Tesla always knows how to get people talking. They really push the limits, especially when it comes to those electric vehicles. And their CEO, Elon Musk, he always has those bold predictions about the future of transportation. What are we thinking they might unveil this year?
Well, some people are saying they might showcase a prototype of their robotaxi, that fully self-driving car they've been working on, the one designed specifically for ride-sharing.
Wait a minute, a robotaxi? That sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. Like you just hail a driverless cab and it takes you where you need to go.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely a window into the future of transportation. And as for batteries, there's talk of a new chemistry that could give electric vehicles a much longer range and cut down those charging times significantly.
Longer range and faster charging. Those are the two biggest things holding back electric cars right now. If Tesla can really deliver on that, it would change everything. What about XR? You mentioned earlier that we're going to see some mind-bending innovations.
Oh, absolutely. Both from those big companies and some really exciting startups. And one of the big trends this year is a focus on creating much more comfortable and user-friendly XR headsets. Those early devices were kind of bulky and uncomfortable, not really something you wanted to wear for hours on end.
Yeah, I remember trying some of those early VR headsets. They were a bit clunky, not exactly something you'd want to wear to a party.
Exactly. But thankfully, the newest headsets are much lighter and sleeker. They're more user-friendly. And as those headsets become more comfortable, I think we're going to see even more creative applications popping up. Imagine attending a virtual concert, but you feel like you're right there in the crowd. Or, having those team meetings where you actually feel like you're sitting at the table with your colleagues, even if you're miles apart.
It's like the ultimate virtual hangout. No more awkward video calls. And I bet this is going to be huge for education and training. Imagine those medical students practicing complex surgery, but in a completely risk-free virtual environment. Or firefighters training for dangerous situations.
Oh, the potential is incredible. It's all about creating those engaging learning experiences that really blur the lines between real and virtual.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about green technology. It's a topic I'm really passionate about. It feels like the tech industry is finally starting to take environmental responsibility seriously.
Well, yeah, it does feel like things are changing. Technology and the environment are becoming much more intertwined, and there's so much innovation and excitement right now. Companies are really stepping up, working on solutions that can help us tackle that climate crisis head on. and build a much more sustainable future.
It's not just about creating cool new tech anymore. It's about using tech to make a real difference, a positive impact on the planet. So what kind of green tech innovations are we going to see at CES 2025?
Sustainable transportation is going to be huge. We already talked about Tesla and those electric vehicle advancements. But there's also a lot of progress in alternative fuels, like hydrogen fuel cells.
Hydrogen fuel cells. Now that's a game changer. Clean and efficient. Just water vapor is the only emission.
Right. And then there's the whole concept of smart cities, using tech to optimize energy consumption, reduce waste, and just make those urban spaces more livable.
Smart cities are fascinating. Like, imagine a city where traffic lights adjust in real time to make traffic flow better, or buildings that automatically use less energy when no one's inside, or even waste management systems that are fully automated and efficient.
Right. It's all about using data and technology to make cities more sustainable and livable. And we can't forget about AI. I mean, AI can analyze those massive amounts of data to find patterns and trends, which helps us understand climate change better, predict natural disasters, and figure out how to conserve resources better.
So AI can help us be better caretakers of the planet. That's incredible. It sounds like CES 2025 is going to be a huge year for green technology.
It is. It's not just a niche market anymore. It's a driving force behind innovation across the entire tech industry. And it's not just those big companies either. It's grassroots too. Individuals making choices that make a difference.
It's about all of us doing our part. Whether it's through the choices we make as consumers or, the technologies we develop, we can all contribute to a more sustainable future. But okay, enough about products. Let's switch gears and talk about some of the conferences and panel discussions that are getting everyone excited.
Conferences are always the highlight of CES for me. It's a chance to hear from those experts and leaders, get insights into the latest trends, and just participate in those mind-blowing conversations.
Agreed. So which conferences are at the top of your list this year?
Well, the panel on the ethics of AI is definitely one you won't want to miss. Emmanuel Moyrand will be there himself, talking about his vision for responsible AI development.
Oh, that's a must-see for sure. I'm so curious to hear his thoughts on how we can make sure AI is developed ethically.
They're going to be diving deep into some of those tough ethical dilemmas. Things like algorithmic bias, data privacy, and how AI could impact jobs. All those big questions that we need answers to.
Yeah, especially as AI becomes more and more integrated into our lives. What other conferences should we be checking out?
There's another great conference on green technologies and climate resilience. Experts from all sorts of different fields will be there talking about how tech can actually help us deal with the effects of climate change and create a more sustainable future. I think you'll really enjoy this one.
Oh, definitely. I'm especially interested in hearing about how technology can help us adapt to climate change. We're already seeing its effects everywhere we look, from those crazy weather events to rising sea levels. It's kind of scary.
It is a bit frightening. As those impacts get worse, we're going to need more and more innovative solutions, ways to adapt and protect those communities that are most vulnerable.
I'm also super interested in that whole circular economy thing, moving away from that old way of take, make, dispose, and embracing those more sustainable models where we're constantly reusing and recycling resources.
Closing the loop, right? Creating a much more sustainable, regenerative economy. That's the future.
It really seems like CES 2025 is going to be about so much more than just showing off the latest gadgets. It's about having those meaningful conversations, about using tech to solve some of the biggest challenges facing humanity.
It's a wake-up call. Technology isn't just for entertainment and convenience. It's a tool that can help us create a better future. But it's up to us to use it wisely.
We're not just passive observers in all of this. We get to make choices, have a voice, take action. We're all shaping this future together. And that's pretty exciting, but also a little daunting. So as we wrap up part 2 of our CES 2025 deep dive, I'm curious. We've explored so many amazing products, conferences, trends, ideas. What's the one thing that has you the most excited about the future of technology?
For me, it's that growing awareness that technology isn't just about making our lives easier. It's about making a real difference in the world. And I think that's what CES 2025 is really all about. It's about harnessing the power of technology to benefit humanity and the planet.
I love that. It's about using our ingenuity and our creativity to build a better world. That's a future worth getting excited about. Welcome back to our CES 2025 deep dive. It's hard to believe we're already at the final part. It feels like we've been on this incredible journey exploring the future of technology.
It has been quite a ride. From AI designing cars in just a few hours, to XR replacing our screens, to those amazing green technologies. So much to be excited about.
And through it all, we've really been trying to look at it through that lens of ethical technology, guided by those insights from Emmanuel Moyrand and AZTEQ.
Yeah, they really challenged us to think differently about how we use technology and what its real purpose is.
Exactly. Technology that truly serves humanity and the planet, not just for profit or convenience. So as we wrap things up here, let's try to connect the dots. What are the big takeaways from everything we've discussed? What does all this mean for, everyday people trying to navigate this crazy tech world?
It's not just about the gadgets anymore. I mean, it never really was. CES 2025 is a reflection of the choices we're making as a society. Are we willing to sacrifice our privacy for convenience? Are we really committed to sustainability? Or are we just paying lip service? These are the questions we need to be asking ourselves even after the event is over.
I like that. It's like CES is holding up a mirror, forcing us to confront our values, seeing all those cool new innovations, but also having those discussions about the ethical implications. It just highlights the fact that we're at a crossroads. We have so much power to shape the future with technology, but we have to use that power responsibly.
Absolutely. And that responsibility doesn't just rest with those big tech companies or, government policymakers. It's on all of us. Every single one of us. As consumers, we have a say. We need to demand products and services that align with our values. And as citizens, we have a voice in shaping those regulations that guide how technology is developed.
You're right. We're not just passengers on this train. We can choose the destination. We're active participants. We have the power to shape the future of technology. But, we also need to be realistic. There are going to be some big economic and societal impacts.
Oh, definitely. Think about AI and automation. Some industries will be disrupted, jobs will change, but that also means there will be new opportunities created. It's about being prepared for that change, equipping ourselves with the skills to thrive in this new world.
It's about embracing the good while acknowledging that there might be some bumps in the road and making sure that, no one gets left behind in this transition.
Exactly. And this is where events like CES are so crucial. They provide a platform for those difficult conversations. They bring everyone to the table, industry leaders, policymakers, researchers, everyday people. And that's how we move forward.
It's like a global brainstorming session, trying to figure out this crazy new world together. But okay, as we wrap up our deep dive, I'm wondering, how do we as individuals avoid feeling overwhelmed by all of this? There's so much happening so fast. AI, XR, green tech, it's almost too much to take in. How do we make sense of it all?
That's such an important question. I think it starts with being mindful. Really think about your relationship with technology. Ask yourself, what role do you want tech to play in your life? What are your values? And then use those answers to guide your choices. What you buy, what information you consume, how you spend your time.
So it's about being deliberate, right? Not just blindly adopting every new gadget or trend that pops up. Thinking critically about how technology fits into your life.
Absolutely. Technology should be a tool that enhances our lives, not something that controls us or dictates how we live. We have the power to choose.
That's really empowering. It's an exciting time to be alive. We're on the cusp of a technological revolution, and we get to help shape what that looks like. It's both exciting and a bit scary, right?
It is. It requires our ingenuity, our creativity, but also our responsibility. We have to be mindful of the choices we're making.
So as we head towards CES 2025, and as we all navigate this crazy world of tech, remember what Moyrand said. Technological innovation is a powerful force, but it only holds true value if it serves humanity and the planet.
Wise words to live by.
And that, my friends, wraps up our deep dive into CES 2025. We hope you enjoyed the ride. It's been a fascinating exploration of the future of technology. And more importantly, we hope you feel inspired to, take part in shaping that future.
The future is in our hands.
Stay curious, stay engaged, and keep those conversations going.